Hello friends, today our topic is what is Linux? From smartphones to cars, supercomputers and home appliances, home desktops to the enterprise servers, the Linux operating system is everywhere. Linux is actually everywhere. It's in your phones, your thermostats, in your cars, refrigerators, Roku devices, and televisions. It also runs most of the internet. All of the world's top 500 supercomputers and the world's stock exchanges also are running the Linux. Just like Windows, you all know about the Windows. It is an operating system just like Windows, iOS and Mac OS. Linux is an operating system. In fact, one of the most popular platforms on the planet, Android, is powered by the Linux operating system. An operating system is a software that manages all of the hardware resources associated with your desktop or the laptop. The Linux operating system comprises several different pieces. What are those? The first one is the bootloader. That is the software that manages the boot process of your computer. For most users, this will simply be a splash screen that pops up and eventually goes away to boot into the operating system. Next one is the most important, that is known as the kernel. This is the one piece of whole that is actually called Linux. The kernel is the core of the system and manages the CPU, memory and the peripheral devices. The kernel is the lowest level of the operating system. Next one is known as the init system. This is a subsystem that bootstraps the user space and is charged with controlling daemons. One of the most widely used init systems is systemd, which also happens to be one of the most controversial. It is the init system that manages the boot process once the initial booting is handed over from the bootloader, that is grep or grant unified bootloader. Next one is known as the daemons. These are background services such as printing, sound, scheduling, etc. that either start up during boot or after you log into the desktop. Now the graphical server. This is the subsystem that displays the graphics on your monitor. It is commonly referred to as the X server or just X. Now the desktop environment. This is the piece that the users actually interact with. There are many desktop environments to choose from: GNOME, Cinnamon, Mate, Pantheon, Enlightenment, KDE, XFC, etc. Each desktop environment includes built-in applications such as file managers, configuration tools, web browsers, and also our favorite games. Now the applications. Desktop environments do not offer the full array of apps. Just like Windows and macOS, Linux offers thousands upon thousands of high-quality software titles that can be easily found and installed. Most modern Linux distributions include App Store-like tools that centralize and simplify application installation. For example, Ubuntu Linux has the Ubuntu Software Center. Now the next question goes into mind. Why should we use the Linux? The first one, it is absolutely free. Linux is a free operating system both in terms of pricing and licensing. You can download and install it for free, and you can even modify the Linux OS. Make copies of it to distribute it to your friends, family and colleagues. Revive your old computer. Don't throw your old computer just yet. Linux has got your back when it comes to low-end configuration system. Some Linux OS can run on a system with just 128 MB RAM. It is safe and secure. Linux is renowned for its security. You don't even need an antivirus in Linux. Just keep your system updated. Oh, and there are no hidden trackers to invade your privacy and steal your data. There are thousands of applications. Linux has thousands of open source applications available to use for free. You can browse the software in Software Center and select the ones based on ratings and reviews. You also have a number of proprietary software available for Linux. The customization. If you like tweaking the looks of your operating system, you will love Linux. With icons, themes, Conky panel, dock launchers, you can customize the looks of Linux desktop in every possible way you can imagine. And the community. Linux project itself has been built around a vibrant community. When you are in need of help, you can get a variety of support in the form of documentation, forums, and live chat. So what is the meaning of open source? Linux is also distributed under an open source license. Open source follows these key features: the freedom to run the program for any purpose, the freedom to study how the program works and change it to make it do what you wish, the freedom to redistribute copies so you can help your neighbor, the freedom to distribute copies of your modified versions to others also. So what is a distribution? Linux has a number of different versions to suit any type of user, from new users to hardcore users. You'll find a flavor of Linux to match your needs. These versions are called the distributions, or in the short form, distros. Nearly every distribution of Linux can be downloaded for free, burned onto disk or USB thumb drive, and installed on as many machines as you like. There are some popular Linux distributions like Linux Mint, Manjaro, Debian, Ubuntu, Solus, Fedora, Elementary OS, OpenSUSE, Arch, Kali, etc. Now the main question goes to, is Linux an operating system or a kernel? Linux in its nature is not an operating system, it's a kernel. The kernel is part of the operating system, and the most crucial. For it to be an OS, it is supplied with GNU software and other additions, giving us the name GNU or Linux. The Linux is then installed on a computer as a distribution such as Ubuntu, Elementary OS, Fedora, OpenSUSE, etc. However, because there are Linux distributions that come paired with more software other than GNU, some people feel we cannot generalize all Linux kernel operating systems as GNU or Linux. The Linux kernel was developed in 1991 by Linus Torvalds and has since then ported to a wide range of computer architectures. Linux was adopted as the main kernel for the GNU operating system, meant to be a free and open source. Since then, Linux has gained popularity and deployed in different computing systems such as the mobile devices like Android, the PCs, servers, embedded devices, supercomputers, and also the mainframes. So what is the meaning of the kernel? Once again, the kernel is the primary part of the operating system. When you boot your computer, it is the first part of the OS loaded into the RAM for your system to start working. The kernel sits in between the application software and the underlying hardware system. It communicates directly to the hardware, passing any requests by the application software. A simple example to illustrate this: when recording a video on your phone, when you tap on the camera app, the software will communicate to the kernel that it wants to use the camera and microphone. The kernel will then tell the camera and mic hardware to wake up and get ready. Then now both software and hardware will work together to record a good video for you. The kernel is also responsible for managing various system components such as memory, processes, tasks, and storage. It ensures proper execution of programs by checking out for memory space. Now that is the full Linux system diagram. From application to kernel and kernel to CPU memory or the devices, and back to kernel and back to applications. At the core of the system, there are the hardware and it is connected by the kernel, then cell or the CLI, the X11 guy, then the desktop environment, and then the applications are going on. So that is the brief description of Linus Benedict Torvalds, who has invented the Linux, and his birthday is the 28th December 1969. Practically, he is an employee of the Linux Foundation with the occupation software engineer. By nationality, he is an Finnish but American by naturalized. And practically, he is known for the Linux Git and the subsurface. Finally, all the information has been taken from the wikipedia.org, from the linux.com, from the firstlinux.com, and also its first.com.